I'm Steve.
And we're from Showhomesonline, and we're here today to bring you our latest Q&A session for February 2016. And we've been lucky enough to come to this wonderful location in Bowbrook in Shrewsbury, the beautiful Arundel Showhome
By Bovis Homes. Now, there's a reason why we came here, and that is because I've never actually seen this house. Emma actually reviewed it on her own a while ago,
a very long time ago,
and it's
yes.
just nice to actually come back, and it's a great house to do a review in, and a really nice, lovely lounge here, lots of oranges and stuff like that.
It's beautiful.
In colour. So, anyway, let's tell you a little bit about what Bovis are up to, okay? As they've been kindly let us in their show home to do our video. Well, Bovis are going to enjoy a really successful 2017 with lots of new developments on the cards, especially in Cheshire. We've got new developments coming for Wrenbury and Haslington, two big developments. And also, they've recently announced that they're coming to Lichfield as well in Staffordshire. So that's really, really good news. And the developments such as Bowbrook Grange, Idishall Gardens, Sansia Grange are all doing remarkably well, and all contain that fantastic portfolio of Bovis houses. So we've got a dedicated Bovis Homes playlist for all the different regions and also all the different house types we can. And we are trying to get as many Bovis house types as we can on there, so you can see exactly what Bovis offer.
We have got quite a wide selection on there, and there are some beautiful house types for you to have a look at.
Yeah, I mean, you can look, you look from the 3-bedroom Southwold right up to the big 5-bedroomed Winchester with the big bifold doors at the back, spectacular. And we are bringing you a brand new Winchester, and we're going to try and update a lot of the house types, like the Arundel, for instance. We've got that on a couple of developments. So, anyway, without further ado, we'll get into the Q&A. Yeah. Now, when we say Q&A, it's also a little bit of news as well. So we like to mix it up a little bit, but we will periodically pop in questions that we've had.
I suppose predominantly it's about involving you guys, our viewers, and just giving you a little bit of feedback about what you're saying to us, because you really are communicating with us on a daily basis. So we just want to let you know.
Yeah. And ask
what
us
people
anything,
are saying,
within reason, obviously.
Yeah.
So our first bit on our news agenda is snapshots. Now, you probably saw that for the first time in this month, and you probably thought, what is that all about? Well, let me try and explain. Well, sometimes when we do reviews, sometimes we have customers in the house, and they come in, and the flow of the filming gets quite distorted.
It happens, doesn't it, on occasion, where for various reasons we just can't get around the house in a logical way like we normally do and narrate the video. And it does happen, I wouldn't say all the time, but it happens probably every fifth house that we look at. There is an issue with something that means we can't do it the way we normally do it. But we still have that footage to try and bring you to show you the beautiful house.
I mean, for instance, Sansia Grange, we took about 30 different takes to get that. You don't really realise it, but that's why. So when we've got that footage, we think to ourselves, well, it's like 180 was a fantastic house by David Wilson, and we thought, well, we really need to bring that to you, but it was so disjointed, and that's why we thought we'd put it in snapshots and just do a quick snapshot of it. And I bet you thought, what's going on there? But we will be bringing you some more snapshots, and they're all off the cutting room floor. They are videos that we haven't been able to narrate properly, so we will bring you a few more. But what would you rather us do? We want to bring you these show homes and not just delete them. So that, look out, we might just have one a month, So that's what we're at with that. So enjoy it. It's a bit crazy.
And also, it's just a different way of us doing things, just to show you a different way of our production methods and how we work, really. So it's not the typical review that we do, where we walk around and narrate the house and show you what's what. So, but it is just showing you. I mean,
I am nowhere near a video editor or anything like that. I'm learning on the fly here. So that brings us onto our next section, which is the unseen footage and bloopers. We are bringing a video out soon of all of those bloopers and stuff all mixed in, and some funny stuff that we've seen, just to show that actually we do have quite a lot of fun with this, and some stuff some takes and we make mistakes, and
some of it is you've been framed, isn't it?
Yeah.
Some of it's hilarious.
And it's
really,
stuff like a lot like it, and I think it's Lee Bradbury made a comment about something to do with what we say in the commentary and stuff like that. And it is about, we just say it as we see it, and sometimes we get I say the wrong thing, and it you know, or it just comes out, you know. It's not rehearsed, is it? It's not pre-rehearsed.
Usually the minute we walk through the front door of a show home is the first time we've been in there. We've not seen it. It's exactly like you guys would walk around and look at it, and the kind of things you would say, I suppose. Yeah. So that's how we do it. So
we're going to go on to a question now. I think Stuart Cleaver was making a comment about David Wilson house types, etc., being called one thing and then it's actually a different name on another development. We do find that very confusing, and only David Wilson tend to do that. Yes, in terms of excuse me, in terms of house builders, David Wilson seems to be the worst. Yeah. The worst one for this, where they will keep the house types in their portfolio, but they change the name on every development to either a regional or some kind of... Yeah. It's got regional, some kind of meaning to wherever it is. For instance, a development at Dosley Park in Telford is all named after local areas, around Telford. Yeah. Which is kind of nice if you think you're buying a house type that's specific to that area, but in actual fact you're not, because that house type will be on many other David Wilson sites all over the country. It'll just be called something else. And it becomes very confusing, because it then looks like they've got thousands and thousands of house types in their range, but they actually haven't. They've got a standard portfolio, they give them all numbers, and they just change the names wherever they are. I have a folder at home of nearly every David Wilson house type. As you know, I'm a historian, you know, and I try to put them together. But funny enough, a lot of the David Wilson staff only know them as numbers, don't they? They're just actual numbers. They're like proper number plates, but with a cherished
with a personalised name.
That's it, but it's still the same thing.
I suppose that's a good way of looking at it. So that's why when you're watching our videos from different regions of the country, the house types look very similar, and you might think, and we often say, we've been in this house before, because we have. It's just been called something else somewhere else. But Stuart was spot on about the Warcroft, you know. So next thing we want to talk about is something quite exciting that we're doing, and we're actually going to film a pilot for a kind of, Lemmy, you explain it. It's kind of like we have, this is the first you've heard of this. That puts me on the spot. Yeah, I do like putting her on the spot. Basically, we were playing around with a name for it, wasn't it? New home. What was it? New home to. Yeah. I don't know. But what we want to do is we want to new house to new home or something like that. Yeah.
You know, because we've got all these programmes on TV, but none of them do new houses, do they? No. So we want to find maybe 2 or 3 couples that are hunting a house. Preferably in the Midlands area, preferably.
Yes, for now, yes.
That wouldn't mind actually participating on this. Initially, it's going to be like a YouTube series, and we want, you know, we will select some developments for you to have a look around and use, you know, and see what you think. So it's kind of, you've got Phil and Kirsty, estate agent type things, looking at houses that people have lived in. You've got Lucy and Martin, who look at auction properties, and you've got Emma and Steve, who are looking at brand new builds. So it's looking at the show homes that you are going to buy and trying to put something together for that, essentially. So we want to put a pilot together, about that, so we can then approach production companies with it, because a few production companies have kind of indicated they're interested in the idea. So we want to kind of show a bit more of a format of what it's going to be like, and YouTube's a great platform for that. So if you are in the Midlands area and you are looking for a new home and you don't mind being on film, then why not contact us? Yeah, and you can contact us at showhomesonline@mail.com, or just send us a message over Facebook or through YouTube. We want to hear from you. You know,
You don't know where it might go.
Yeah, you never
And
know.
ultimately, you might find your dream home.
Yeah, that's it. You know. Well, next we are going to go for another sort of question. It wasn't sort of a question, but it was a comment made on a recent video of Keep Motorhomes at Bridlewood in Telford about that development. Not so much the little maple house type, the little 3-bed, but it was the big 4-bed chestnut. And you could see from our expressions when we walked into the chestnut that we were wondering,
what had we walked into? And clearly you guys thought the same way.
Yeah.
Yes, we've had an awful lot of feedback about that house. And it's not about us, is it? It's about the house.
Yeah.
We always say, you guys are the critics, you are the ones that are, you're the home buyers, you're the ones looking at that house. I think it's probably had the most negative feedback
of anyone has.
Controversy that we've ever had.
I always think
it's been fascinating, but we kind of knew that that's what would happen. I think with that house type, particularly that top floor.
I would love to see that house type furnished, just to see what it looks like.
And I think it's really disappointing that they used it as the sales centre. Really, they missed a trick there in dressing that house. I suppose we'd like to speak to people who are buying it.
Yeah, who's bought one?
Who has bought one?
I actually don't think it's available anywhere else, to be honest with you. But if it is, if you've bought one,
so I think
let us know.
The overwhelming consensus on that house is that it's odd.
Yeah.
Isn't it? To say
well,
the least.
I like Keep Moat. Keep Moat are very innovative, and I mean,
usually they're spot on and very, very contemporary. Good build.
And Keep Moat, if you're
it's so random, that house.
Yeah,
isn't it
is. I kind of like it because it is unusual. Because it's that's what I like.
Yeah.
But Keep Moat, we want to know, I know you've got a few of them on that development. But if you're watching Keep Moat, have they sold and have you got one furnished that we can have a look at? So that's it. So anyway, the next question, when it was again question, it was from Simon Bacon. He was suggesting that we go to Sherford Village. Well, actually, I'd never heard of Sherford Village until you'd said it, Simon. And wow, oh my God, it's fantastic. It's basically Pambury on speed almost. It's absolutely beautiful, proper British English sort of town being built there. There isn't much going on there. Great videos on the YouTube channel for it, but I know that Bovis and Linden Homes are there, so I've put that on the Bovis list for us to potentially go and do that when we go and do a Devon Plymouth sort of special down there. But yeah, I should definitely be keeping my eye on Sherford. It looks fantastic. As we go,
so thanks for telling us about that. Simon.
Yeah, that's what we want. Nice.
Because we don't know everything. We don't know everything that's going on everywhere. There's only 2 of us, so that's why we rely on you guys to tell us great locations that we should go to, or at least check out and see if we can get there.
Yeah. Another question we had in was about if you could buy any house, what would it be, and where would it be?
Ooh, it's a tricky one because we see hundreds of different houses.
Do you know, I would buy...
I have a leaning towards David Wilson. So I like the quite traditional layout of their house. But, having said that, I've seen Barrett's that I like very much. Bovis that I like. It's a tricky one.
Yeah.
What about you?
To be honest with you, it's like an older house actually, because I quite like the Spanish villas that had been built in Telford around about 89, 91 by Tarmac Homes called Punta Verde. If you street view it, it's Punta Verde Way, and it's actually a authentic Spanish housing estate. Absolutely fantastic houses, and I just remember how exciting it was. And I see them come up for sale now, and I just I love them. I just love the look of them. And I'd have one of those. But if I could buy a new house,
in fact, you're thinking about making the brochure into a PDF, aren't you? So that you guys can have a look at it.
Yeah.
And that's going to be the case with a lot of older house broches, aren't you? That's another thing that you're trying to do is make that material available for a wider audience if you're interested.
I think if and you can find a lot more about that on newhomeshistorian.com. But if I could buy a new house, I think it would be the Rockingham A by Crest Nicholson at Milton Keynes. Beautiful house, just
it was
still
outstanding. Yes. Although having said that, we did go to one a couple of weeks ago that I believe was a Linden.
I don't think. Yeah.
Oh, I like that.
Didn't tick my
That's going to be a
boxes.
treat when that comes.
But
particularly the landing on that.
But I've been sending after some brochures from all over the country to try and find these real unique developments that we're going to go to. And I'll tell you something, I've had some really nice houses through the post, so we'll keep your eye open on that.
But we have been to some stunning houses
Yeah.
in the last 4 weeks even.
So that
they'll
will
be
be
coming
fun too.
Yeah.
What is house of the month?
Right. What do you think it is?
I've got to say 180.
Oh yeah.
I think 180 by David Wilson Homes at Bedhampton. I know we couldn't bring you the proper video for that, but hopefully one day we'll go back and we'll do it. But it still went on our YouTube channel.
Outstanding.
Yeah, it
was.
was.
For me, it was all the balconies.
Yeah.
The garden was absolutely beautiful, and it really was a superb house.
It was called 180. It was called 180 because apparently each house had a 180-degree views, and you apparently see views. You know, beautiful.
But the house type was actually called an Ula.
Ula, yeah.
ULA.
Yeah.
Which is very unusual.
Yeah. But we give you a 20. As you've seen on snapshots, you saw that.
I mean, it kind of looks like we're running round it at 200 miles an hour, doesn't it?
Yeah, believe me, it took some editing out of that to get.
It was actually a very difficult location to film in.
Yeah.
That's why we've had to do it that way.
Yeah, it was.
A beautiful house.
And just quickly moving on, we've made some improvements in the description box. It's essential you guys look at the description box. It's just below the video. There's so much detail in there. The room dimensions. Everything about that house is in there. The link to the website, where the house is situated, and so much more. So use that. I mean, eventually we'll hopefully be bringing a link to the brochure, etc., in there as we do it. And you know,
and just please continue to let us know what you think, because I know we say that on the end of every video, but it's really important to us, isn't it, that we get your feedback. If you have any questions, let us know. There's many ways you can get in touch with us, because it's very important to us.
Yeah, it is.
And it helps us to continue to do what we do.
Yeah.
And we do it for you.
And that's it. And you know, we've had some comments saying about mine and Emma's personality in this, and that's it. That's what it is really. You know, we're not the flashy corporate videos. We're not that. We are just telling you what we know about the house.
And we're telling you about what we see.
Yeah, and that's it. We try to bring you more. Now, you'll find that some videos are about to change very slightly, and we're going to be focusing a lot more on the development as well now.
Well, we're going to try to, aren't we?
Yeah,
because we're getting asked for information about the wider development outside of the show home. So we'll try where we can.
Yeah, I mean, we try to get the developers' portfolios on, but when we get to a stage where we've got them all on, we need to obviously start looking at the development a little bit more then, and you know...
The issue is that sometimes when we go to a development, particularly if it's brand new, often all that's finished is the show home, and the rest of the development is just mud, essentially, that's been mapped out and ready for the rest to continue to be built. So sometimes there isn't a lot for us to show you.
Yeah. And that reminds me, another question that we got asked was about why do developers choose certain show homes?
Yeah.
You might think it's like, to me, a lot of Bovis, for instance, they like to go they go for the most popular house type, don't they? Really, like the Southwold.
Yeah, sometimes I'll have one of those, but often they'll have a lovely big house as well.
For instance,
on the front of the development, because often that's where the show home is. It's positioned at the front of the development so that you see it as soon as you come in.
This Arundel...
Not always. Yeah. Sometimes you've got to drive into it, but...
The Arundel here is a prime spot, isn't it, really, as you come in. I mean, here we've got, on this development at Bowbrook Meadows, we've got this lovely big Arundel, and then there's a Southwold view home next door, so you get both the scales of houses, really. But anyway, thank you very much for watching us, and don't forget, if you were interested in our pilot, Give us
let us
give us a
know.
shout.
But keep on communicating with us. That's all we can say, really, is that we love reading all your feedback, and it's just great for us.
Yeah.
And it makes what we do more fun to know that you guys are watching.
Just take that couple of seconds just to write in that description box if you've got a
like
YouTube
the video,
account.
or subscribe, or whatever you want to do. But just keep interacting with us, because it makes it all worthwhile.
Well, until next month, into our next we'll be choosing another mystery location.
We certainly will. Yes.
And until next month,
we'll see you later.
And thanks to Bovis Homes for allowing us to use their show home.
Yeah.
Thanks
for watching.
Bye.